A police investigation launched into an alleged murder-for-hire plot that has made headlines for days. Hear what the commissioner has to say on the matter. 3 men charged with the murder of the teen girl on a public bus last Friday. An update on residents dealing with smoke from the New Providence landfill. Plus, Scouts celebrate Commonwealth Day in Rawson Square. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Kyle Joaquin, and NB12 starts now. Of corruption, integrity, and the country being for sale arose in Parliament today after videos of a controversial Canadian fashion designer calling the names of the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and others surfaced as part of a court matter. Today, all involved vigorously defended their reputations as news of a police investigation broke.
The suggestion that I have used the power of my office to extend special treatment to Peter Nygard is completely and utterly false. 2, there has been no impropriety on my part in any of my dealings with either Peter Nygard or Louis Bacon.
Christie said it was about his reputation and the reputation of the government. The Prime Minister said he had to say as much after videos and audio allegedly secretly recorded of Canadian fashion mogul Peter Nygard went viral. In the videos, Nygard made reference to the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. There's also claims that hitmen were hired to cause the death of some members of Save the Bays, but Christie said he has no reason to believe that any of his cabinet colleagues are involved in such a matter. But before he was done, Christie asked that the opposition cooperate with the police so as to be sure no one on their side was perhaps involved.
It is important, Mr. Speaker, to determine whether or not any of their members may have instigated, facilitated, or otherwise been complicit in any criminal activity in relation to any aspect of this matter.
But opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis questioned when government brought the matter to police.
I was only informed of any allegations when they appeared in the press, Mr. Speaker. And when they appeared in the press, I requested an investigation to be done.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Member for Kalani.
It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that this information can only come out as the opposition requests such information.
Christie then responded saying the opposition knows what it's doing and that it would become a question of whether or not the Bahamas is for sale. But that kicked off what became a heated back and forth.
This matter may involve criminal activity, and it may involve criminal activity sourcing from that side. It may. That is why I asked them to cooperate.
Today we are once again, as a people, confronted by serious allegations of illicit payments to serving cabinet ministers, complicity in gang activities, and an apparent expressed expectation on the part of Nygard that he was owed some governmental favors as a result of his having given the PLP some $5 million to fight the last general elections campaign.
When is that going to happen? That the Prime Minister will do something he shouldn't do because some ministers come to him.
The minister should be fired, Mr. Prime Minister.
Ministers didn't, they didn't come, Mr. Speaker. Ministers did not come to me. It is a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie.
But now, Mr. Speaker, if you want to mess with me, Mr. Speaker, I said it before, if that's what you want to do, and you want to come and impugn my integrity, Mr. Speaker, well, Mr. Speaker, you have to know I ain't going to just sit down and take that, and we ain't going to take that. And if you touch one of us, Mr. Speaker, you touch all of us, Mr. Speaker. It's as simple as that.
We need somebody who has not perceptibly been bought by a permanent resident who means this country no good. We need somebody like that from the opposite side to stand up and repudiate the filth that this man represents. And until we get that, then we cannot accept this as business as usual. We need a government that is free and clear of men and women who believe that they own this country or that they have this government in their back pocket. And Mr. Prime Minister, you should stand firm. If you call for Bruno Rufo and your Minister of Foreign Affairs to be sent out of this country, if you say that Sarkis' million should get psychiatric evaluation, should be sent out of this country, what then do you say about Peter Nygaard? Shame on you.
Minnis also mentioned that sometime between Sunday night and Monday morning, the FNM's headquarters was broken into, and now that is under investigation. But in the end, Prime Minister Christie called the matter serious and asked for parliamentarians to allow the Royal Bahamas Police Force to do its job.
Just as there is purported evidence of people saying things in the absence of a test for authenticity of the tapes, all of that is a part of an investigation. We're sitting in here debating. I'm also saying, Mr. Speaker, that the same level of purported evidence could pose an implication to the opposition.
Well, Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade spoke about the investigation today. Giorgio Bain has that angle.
The Commissioner of Police announced that an official investigation has been launched into those murder-for-hire videos that went viral last week. The Commissioner says that no one is above the law, and those interviews will start today.
I directed an investigation on Friday past. I've assigned an assistant commissioner, a superintendent, one of my legal experts, along with a number of other supporting officers, to seek to determine if there is any veracity to what I read as an open source issue. I decided, based upon the fact that names were called in the newspapers and in other places, to have the detectives go and see the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. Perry Christie, to see the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Ms. Brave Davis, certainly to see Mr. Code Smith, Reverend Dr. C.B. Moss, and any number of other names of people whose names are called in open source documents.
Greenslade said the investigation will start with the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and other members of Parliament, and also those termed as gangsters and investigators on the tapes.
We've been hearing some strange voices. Some of them we think we recognize, and so we'll be trying to pursue some of those voices to seek to make some sense of what we've been hearing. So we've heard some of the stuff that you've heard, because again, it's in social space, and we'll invite them. We can't force anyone, but we'll invite them to talk to us and see what they have to say. We believe can provide us information to make sense of what we're pursuing. And if we find that there is culpability, meaning there is some guilt or some reason to suspect that a person or persons have contravened the laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, we will take action. Irrespective. The law is, watch me, blind. She is blind. And no man is above the law.
As for the time frame on the conclusion of the investigation, Greenslade said he can't give one now, but he understands how important this is to the waiting public.
People whose names have been called, be they politicians or just members of the public or other professionals, they have a right to be concerned. And so we are going to move as quickly as we can. Today, I've asked the detectives to ensure that before the sun sets today, that we've made some contacts, because those people will be able to say, you know, yes, I want to talk to you, or look, I don't want to be a part of that, it has nothing to do with me, or yes, I want to. And if you want to, our doors are flung wide open, and we'll be doing the best we can.
Commissioner Greenslade said as soon as new details about the alleged murder-for-hire plot becomes available, the public will know. Reporting for NB12, I'm Giorgio Bain.
The Democratic National Alliance has dubbed the Nygaard videos political cancer. The party's deputy leader even said politicians' relationships with foreign investors could eventually kill the country and make Bahamians virtual slaves.
And so what we saw this week with respect to the videos that are going around and the depositions that have been made is only evidence of a level of corruption that has been going on for decades in our country. And as Bahamians, we have to be prepared to deal with this reality if we expect to have a better country.
Mortimer says the DNA recommends the implementation of campaign finance legislation to accomplish these three things.
Three principles that we hope that the campaign finance law that we will push will accomplish. One, to limit the influence of unregulated money and wealthy individuals on our politics. Number two, to regulate spending in campaigns. And three, to deter abuses by mandating public disclosure of campaign finance of parties and candidates.
Monroe says the only way to change these issues is to bring governmental change to the country.